Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Wednesday morning. I hope we're all okay. I hope we're all right. I hope the day is treating all of you as well as it possibly could treat you. We're going to be talking in this video around Fabrizio Romano, talking about Spurs and the end of their window. And I wanted to add my 2 cents to it. I know I shouldn't because I'm an idiot. No, I'm not too bad. But I wanted to add my 2 cents to it because I wanted to somewhat maybe disagree. And you'll see what I mean when I get to it. Just want to say that if you're watching this and you're new, subscribe. You're very much will join us for the journey. And I have also, shout out to Brian. I didn't actually set in the video, but shout out to Brian. I did also record a video just before I went live, actually, on the EAFC 25 player ratings for the Spurs players. Even though, a lot of you maybe aren't as keen on it, I did record a video. It's about 5 minutes long. It'll come out in the middle of the afternoon. So do go and watch it if you could. Morning, Glenn. I'm good. How are you, mate? Morning, Adiz, the Big D, Richarlison, Spurs, Dan, Polly, Sonia, Kieran, Hodgod. Oh, what a name that is. Hodgod 10. What a name. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting the last few days, that's for sure, Polly. Hello from across the pond. Well, you got to tell me where across the pond you are, my friends. Morning from Northern Virginia. How are we, Richard? How are we? Good morning to you, sir. So look, let's sort of some. When I talk about this, thought your name was Andy. It is Andy. My name is Andy. Technically, my name's actually Andrew, but I go by Andy. Morning, Scott. How are you, mate? You all right? 2 a.m. Love from South Africa. Love to see it. Yeah, obviously, talking about Spurs and talking about the situation, obviously, loads of stuff to go on when it comes to the outgoings. We still know about, obviously, Solomon's gone yesterday. We know about Reggie. And we know about Lo Celso, right? So those are the 2 outgoings. I expect probably 1 or 2 more loan deals, probably an Alfie Devine loan deal. But we talk about incomings. People somewhat feel incomplete about the summer. I think I'm going to say that. I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be, effing and jeffing. I'm just going to, people aren't completely satisfied. There's some that are. Pardon me. There's some that are, there's some aren't, and there's some that are sort of in the middle going, I tell you, one more would be pretty suffice, right? Morning, Martin. Enjoy your Lisbon. Enjoy it, mate. Morning from hello from Norway. Nice, Gamecock. You're so glad you caught my live. Well, here you are, live in the flesh. Me. Hey, Michael, you're right. Sander, Pete. Yeah, we're not getting Pete. We're not getting Eze, Peter. Hang on. We could. Are we? No. That's the way I'll sum that up. So let's talk about these quotes from Romano because they are a little bit fascinating, if I'm honest. He said, I can confirm Tottenham are still in the market for opportunities. I think they'll be working on something, but there is still nothing concrete or close to being completed. The deal they did with Burnley for Odegaard was completely silent, and it was. I've sort of told you where I found it because I think I found it before most Spurs pages, ironically. I think I just landed on Twitter at the right time, and it was near the top of my feed. And like I said, it was from Sasha Tagliafieri, and it was 15 minutes before anyone else had released anything. So shout out him, obviously. Because when you do get something right before all of the big boys of Ornsteins and Romanos and so on and so forth, Alistair Gold it is something to be impressed by. And so shout out him. There's been a few actually new guys that have been ahead of the game on, like, even a Paul O'Keefe have been ahead of them. We talk about Shulgassi yesterday when we talked about Solomon's deal. He works for Barca Times, yet he knew about Solomon to Leeds. So shout out that, and we didn't know about it. I think we only really knew about Solanke. We knew Spurs liked Archie Gray, but we didn't know if they were going to be moving for Archie Gray. Obviously, Brentford moved, and then we just slid in straight at the end to kind of go, God, if we don't do it, he's off to Brentford, and he's going to be worth 60 million in a year. So with Solanke, we knew that was the one that Spurs truly wanted. Now, there's more to this quote in a minute, which I'm gonna follow up on in a minute. And I do foresee one more. That's the thing I think we will have, is one more incoming. What that will be is obviously up for debate and up for discussion. I've always said if it had to be a solitary position, it'd be left back for me. Will it be is obviously another question in all entirety. We are extremely unsatisfied with signings. Well, careful, Richarlison. You may be getting sold. I'm joking, mate. The dreaded opportunity, I know. What a beautiful international vibe we have. Yes, absolutely, Polly. You know, Polly's been a long time subscriber of the Inside Spurs channel. So yeah, it's really cool that we are all across the world now. We're a international global brand, even, you know, so many people, you know, Norway's and South Africa's, Namibia's, Kazakhstan, Australia, US, you name it. Pretty damn cool. I can't lie. But I think, you know, when we talk about the next part of this quote, I think it's interesting. This is why you know, when I said I somewhat disagree, you'll see what I mean with this next part of the quote, because I don't think Spurs are going in. Obviously, we've got till Friday 11 p.m. So 11 p.m. UK time. So I don't know what that is around the world wherever you are, but 11 p.m. Friday night UK time. That is when the window shuts for the British side of things. Now, there are some windows that do extend a bit longer. You know, for example, we talked about last summer we sold Davies and Sanchez, and Tanguy and Ndombele went on loan to Galatasaray. Their window went on a little bit longer than ours. So there's always still possibilities you can do deals after the window for us shuts, you know. But I think when we look at ours, for me, I can only see us getting one more. Sorry, people are sending me things. I feel the number 6 is our weakness. I don't think it is as much. I don't. You know, John, yeah, we talked about it a few times on the channel, how Ange and the coaching staff have loved what they've seen from Bergvall. They love what they've seen from Archie Gray. And that's a beautiful thing, that we don't actually feel like we need to buy a 6, because we think, actually, we've got 2 guys here who we liked and we thought would make an impact on the team, but maybe not as quickly and not in such a large way. They've made such a massive impact since being at Spurs. So maybe it's not a bad thing at all, you know. And now that Skip and Højbjerg have left, Lo Celso potentially as well, we are short, in my opinion. Well, look, I think I don't look. Well, Gray and Bergvall in, right? Gray and Bergvall in. Wonder if Kulusevski being used centrally is the added third. That I said at the start of the window, that wouldn't surprise me if Spurs go and get a right winger with Kulusevski being used more centrally. And lo and behold, we signed Wilson Odobert. Kulusevski's playing a little bit more centrally. You know, it's nice that obviously Kulu can still play on the right. It's not to say that he won't. Look, you'll still see Kulu on the right-hand side this season, you know. But obviously being used so centrally in the preseason, obviously then against Everton, I think, you know, I don't often foresee things. I don't often get things right. That was one thing I definitely did get right, that, you know, we were going to go and get a winger for the right wing. Obviously, Odobert played left against Everton, but he's predominantly being used as a right wing, supposedly to the sources. It wouldn't shock me if the 3 out, one of them's already been replaced with someone within the group, and then the 2 added youngsters. And I don't hate that. I actually think it's an upgraded midfield room. I do. Finally, some good balance in the squad. Now we build. Morning, Tom. This is the best and exciting part of the window, and 3rd round cup draw this evening after the Toon game. Yes, we will know who. Well, technically, when people go, I want progression this season, this is a joke. Don't get angry at me, but technically Spurs have improved since last season, because we got out in the 2nd round of the EFL Cup. We're actually already in the 3rd. So even if we go out next round, it's technically progression. All right. Don't get angry. I'm obviously joking. Is Bentancur available for the Newcastle game? We won't know that until the end of this week, most likely. It will be close. It depends on how he's gone through the protocols. Marilla at all costs. Morning, mate. You're right. Morning, Johnny, as well. With net spend of under 50 mil, we should be no reason going for. Well, the reason I said it, Dean, is just purely requirements within the squad. And what I mean by that is, you're not going to go and buy a Spanish left back and a Dutch centre back. It's just not going to happen. You know, even if it's not a situation where you buy an Englishman, that won't really make too much of a change. It is the academy trained side of things. So I think Spurs are going to be a bit short this year, but that will ease itself as years go by. Turkey winner shots on September 13th. We could have a Reggie and Lo Celso for a couple more weeks. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, Sanchez and Ndombele, that was their situation last year. Even though maybe it's coming to the end of this window, we may not need to panic. There is still plenty of time for others to do business. I assume the Saudi window goes on a bit longer. The MLS does the same. It wouldn't shock me at all. It wouldn't shock me at all. So moving on to the second part of the quote, he goes on to say that apart from Solanke, who is their top target, all the other signings have been they've been kept in the quiet. He said, I think for Tottenham, there's still a possibility to do one or two more signings. I'm not sure it's going to be two, but it could be. I think Tottenham are going to be one of the clubs to follow in the following days. And this is what I disagreed with personally. But I'm not sitting here slagging and dragging him off or anything like that. Not at all, actually. I just don't foresee two. I don't foresee two. I just can't. I can see one maybe, but two is too. It doesn't seem logical, or it doesn't really make any sort of leaping out sense to me. As much as, don't get wrong, as much as it'd be great to sign two, but we already have squads restrictions. Signing two, I don't think will make any sense. One of them, you'd really think one of them has to be an academy trained player. And I don't think we're going to be signing Marcus Edwards when you think of the situation we already have at winger with Odebear, with those kind of guys coming in. I've always said, as much as, maybe you're not so keen on him, it's not me pounding this into the ground, wanting Spurs to sign him. I'm just talking more from a logical sense of thought process here. Kyle Walker-Peters would be the only one that makes sense out of the two, because Spurs need a fullback, because Spurs need defenders. Spurs don't need another right winger taking time away from Odebear or Mikey Moore. They already have Johnson in there as well. You have Kulusevski at feature. You have Vernon that's been used on the right. It wouldn't make too much sense. Get that left back from Luton. Alfie Doughty. Portugal and Netherlands open a few more days than ours too. There we go. See, Martin's coming in here and going, Andy, I've got you. I'll help you out, mate. Hey, Les, mate, how are you? Yeah, I agree, Polly. Absolutely agree. Goalkeeper plus another. Well, there might still be a goalkeeper. There was talk that they're interested in a keeper. For me, I always think the keeper would be a buy and then loan deal for the keeper. So, I think they'll keep Alfie Whiteman and Brandon Austin because of we need to. We actually do need to, just because of the European squad spots. We have to keep them, so it allows us to have more players within the squads. But you know what I mean? We are somewhat restricted there. Any possible chance of signing in? Yeah, there is possible. Love the youngsters, Andy. Super talented and want to play, but a few suspension injuries during the season could cost us if we don't bring any experience. Sorry for the long-winded chat. No apologies, mate. I always enjoy reading your comments. I always try and get to every comment. Sometimes I miss them, so apologies. I always try and get to your comments. And even the comments post lives, I always try and get to them as well. So if you're watching it live and you think, God, I tell you what, half an hour later, I've got something up here that I want to talk to Andy about, drop us a comment. I'll try and still get back to you. In terms of the squad, we have depth in certain positions, right? I think striker isn't too bad now. You got two guys in there, Lancashire backing them up as well, so I don't mind that. You got winger position. You could say there's depth. Is it the greatest of depth? That's another story. I think right back's got some depth. Right centre back's got some depth. I think keeper probably this season's okay. I think we need to see. I think people going, we need to sign another keeper. I think that's somewhat lazy because you haven't actually seen what we've got in Austin or a Whiteman. I think they just look at Forster and go, we need to sign a backup keeper, when Forster, I don't think will be the number 2 this season. So, there are certain areas. I think even like a number 8 and 10, I think for now we're fine. With Bergvall and Kulu dropping into those positions, I think we're fine. You think if that's Lo Celso and that's Højbjerg being replaced, for example, okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Archie Gray replaces Skip. You know what I mean? So, Andy, what be joining at morning streams of starting college? Oh, nice one, Les. That's exciting, mate. Hey, You don't always have to watch them live. People that watch this back when I'm not live, they're still pretty cool, in my opinion, as well. All right. Maybe you should have got Edwards and not use a slot on Werner. Well, maybe. Les Richarlison goes, wouldn't think there'd be two. No, Sorry. Ed, I agree. Sorry, you can see where my lack of switched on brain would be there. I agree, Ed. I think, yes, selling Richarlison, you would absolutely expect Spurs to go big and then somewhere else. But I don't think Richarlison will be sold. Cole Peters, good deal. Left back, right back, great. It's been a very poor window. What do you mean by that, Christopher? Christopher Moller. What? I think it's Moller. What? Good name, though. Why do you think that, mate? Hey, Van Gogh, mate, how are you? I think it'll be another young player from Sweden. Interesting, Jazz. Newcastle 5, Spurs 3. Well, we're doing the preview a little bit later this week. I think my friend Luke will be joining me again for the preview. All right, so we'll have another voice on the preview, so that'll be cool. But we'll probably do that Saturday morning, UK Saturday morning, obviously. They need to keep Alfie Devine as well, I believe. Well, there is interest in Alfie Devine on loan. Want to see more of that Spurs ball? Plenty of good players in. Spurs ball isn't half good, isn't it? Get me a left back, left centre back hybrid, and I'm happy. Martin's sort of said the same thing. And this one's a solid 7, Martin. Oh, interesting. You think it's a 7? Martin, realistically, Martin, what would take it to an 8 in your eyes? How about that? I think we missed a trick with Lloyd Kelly this year. He's not a world beater, but he's good cover. He wanted Newcastle, mate. We had a offer rejected for Tosin Adarabioyo. It's one of those things we have tried. It's just haven't got them. Our focus has been on incomings, but we've done an amazing job clearing out Deadwood. Agreed, John. Amazing, I think, is actually a fair word for what we've done outgoings wise. Once Lo Celso and Reguilon go, you have to sit there and go, look, they had to get rid of a load of players, and they did. So fair play to them. We definitely need centre back and left back after seeing Van Ven and Destiny going down. Yeah, it'd be nice to. But then they might, like I said, they might view a Spence as a left back rotation option there. You hear this guy talking about another player from Sweden. What are you talking about? What are you talking, mate? I'm not sure that was for me, Geraldo. I worked out who it will be. It's not I told you so. I just want everyone happy in Spursland and Team Parent. Well, Polly's been right about a lot of signs, by the way. Polly has been the one manifesting Dominic Solanke, and she was right. She was right. A lot of people thought it'd be Tony, and she was always stuck to her guns. So fair play. We could do with another left back, someone like Balde or Geertruida. Balde is a starting left back for Barca. I know he didn't start last night, but he is a starting left back for Barca. Geertruida is Villa bound. Am I right? Need Alfie for the Europe homegrown train as need 4. I don't think he's considered homegrown academy train just yet. I think we need to get the win against Newcastle. Well, I'd take a win against every team. But we'll do the preview later in the week. I won't worry about it right this second. Hincapie make it an 8. Martin, you are a tough cookie to break there. I think if we got Hincapie, I'd be higher than an 8, my friends. If we sell Lo Celso and Reggie, I'm not sure what you mean, football lover. If Van de Ven gets injured, we are screwed. Well, not this right second we would be. I think we either win 3-0 or scrape a 1-0 against Newcastle. Interesting. Buyers and Cole Peters doesn't be an 8 for the window. A lot of you are quite down on this window incomings wise. I mean, if we sign Cole Peters and Eze, I'm sitting there going, it's way above an 8. If we sign a Hincapie, I'm way above an 8. Solanke got a new number 9. That benefits us. Bergvall and Archie Gray, they're in terms of incomings, they're important. Another one of those, you've got 4 guys who are going to impact the first team massively. We've got a guy already coming in January as well. I think I'd be higher than an 8 on that. I see it being a 2-2 draw. Interesting. Hincapie would be great, but we're not going to get him this summer, maybe next summer. Yeah, we're not going to get Hincapie this summer. I think he's going to be important at Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen might have just sold another centre-back. Jonathan Tah may still end up going to Bayern Munich, so I don't foresee Hincapie being so. I think going to need him. Chiesa looks like he's off to Liverpool. Personal terms is almost done. 4-year contracts. And they're in talks to reach agreement on fee. That is a desperation signing. Leaving it this late in the window, that's a desperation signing in my eyes. Not to say he's not a good player, just, you know what I mean? Winner's been a solid 9 so far. What is Bergvall's brother like? He plays right back. Couldn't tell you, mate. Couldn't tell you. Give Solanke time. He will come good. Absolutely. Eamon, how are you, my friends? Van der Ven should play left back, Dragoshian and centre back. But Charleston, mate, why are you dropping Destiny? Let's not be doing things like that. Come on. Leverkusen won't let Hincapie leave. No. Outgoings, 9. Incomings, 7 so far. I tell you what, genuinely, if they moved on from Lo Celso and Reguilon, I'd probably say the outgoings might near enough be a 10. And why I say that, and before people go, I wanted this first teamer sold, I wanted that first teamer sold. The reason why I say that is they had to get rid of so many players, right? Because of the squad spots, Europe squads, they had to get rid of players. They've obviously trimmed the wage bill, which is obviously something that comes along with that. But you think of the players they moved off of and the way they did some of those deals as well, like the Tangagans and Sessions, where they just thought, cut the losses, move on. You know, moving on from Skippy and getting a really good deal on Skip, getting some decent money on Emerson. You know, Højbjerg, you're getting some money from. Parrott, you got some money from. There's so much. Joe Roden, 10 million, decent deal. You know, I'd probably say the outgoings have been really good. Mario Hermoso is still available on a free. What is the deal with Mario Hermoso? Should we have a quick look? Should we see if we can see anything? Mario Hermoso. Oh, good to see I open up Twitter and Spurs fans are taking each other's heads off again. Good to see. Apparently, Turkish reports reckon that Fenerbahce are keen on Hermoso at the moment. Galatasaray are somewhat keen. Yeah, that's all I can see at the moment. Maybe Turkish. That's all I can see. We Tottenham fans want players, but when we get players, then we're not happy. Yeah, you can't. You're not going to make everyone happy. Genuinely, like I said, you could sign Harry Kane back today, and there'd still be people that aren't happy. You know, Dogie is class, mate. Would be interesting to see how much wagering we have after all the outgoings are done. Yeah, I might have to try and work that out another day. I mean, I worked out that we were probably saving, I would say, around 50 million. But I could be a little bit off. And I probably was a little bit off, if I'm honest. My opinion, I think we would be very class playing a 3-back or back 5 wing-back exploding on the wings with another defender as protection. Potentially so, but, you know, the system that we played against Everton was amazing. You know, there was like 4 up front, 2 centre-halves. You know, the midfield was all over the place in a good way. What I mean by that, not in terms of they're all over the place. Oh, my God, we're awful. You know, I have no issues. Chelsea and Osman talks at the moment ongoing. Interesting. For me, I have no issues with the 4-back. No issues. Backup left back, backup goalie, and 1 versatile player. I'm not sure you're gonna get 3 there. You know what? It would be wild if the next signing that we make is the backup keeper that goes out on loan. That would be what so many people would lose their rag. If Chiesa is joining Liverpool, think it means Diaz is off. They've only 1 foreign spot available, and that'll go on a DM, probably Rabiot or Varela. They can have Rabiot. They can have him. Although I did see that AC Milan were talking to Rabiot and Tammy Abraham. AC Milan did some weird old deals. People out on the window because the incoming's being young. If Gray was like 23, they'd be crazy happy. Yeah. Don't get what it says. This has been a very good window. 2 more windows and we're going to be set. People seriously need to stop complaining and back these poor human beings at our club. Yeah. We were never going to be ready to go after this window. I always said Ange is going to need about 5 or 6 windows. 5 windows would be the next summer being completed. 6 windows will be next January. So I always said he's going to need at least 5. He's going to need at least 2 or 3 summer windows. And this is the second summer window. So he still needs a bit more. I also think there still needs to be some more outgoings, which in time that will come. You've got question marks really over next summer about some players that are going to be actually out of contract in a year after that. So there's going to be some more questions next summer. What about the left back from Luton? I like him, but there's been no news. I don't see that happening. Brian Hill, Solomon are the 2 only Deadwoods players which have been loaned. Yeah, maybe. Any thoughts on the rumor that Koulibaly from Dortmund failed a medical that's last? Yeah, I did. I'd read into that, but I wasn't too sure about the strength of the sourcing, to be honest. But it was quiet beforehand, so you never know. Mbappe on loan. Yeah, he'd get minutes at left back, maybe. Backup destiny. In hindsight, I reckon we'll look back at this window as a good one, but I also understand that those are a little disappointed at the moment. Werner messes up a lot and a lack of left defense cover. Yeah, well, look, the left defense cover, I think, will improve. I think the other key thing I would say is the restrictions that we have somewhat on the squad at the moment, they will ease in the years to come with more and more of the actual quality of the youth coming through. For years, we didn't really have that. Now we're starting to see quality come through the academy. The more they stay around, the easier it is for us when it comes to Europe and things like that. And that's the real crux of the issues at the moment. I think it will start to ease in the coming years, which is massive. Will Lascelles and Reguilon be on permanent sales? Well, it doesn't really matter. They've got 1 year left on their deal. So even if it's a loan deal, it is what it is. The reaction to sign-ins just shows how far most fans are from understanding what Ange's trying to do. Yeah, I think, Barney, there's a situation where I think people they're dreamers. There's nothing wrong with being that, but I think their expectations are Spurs should be challenging for the title, and we finish 8th in the season before Ange. Ange then had to change everything about the club, the playing style. He had to change the squads because half the players don't suit Ange ball. We will get better for it. I think we'll see Villa and us. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mark. Ange ball will do the talking, absolutely. Johnson has no balls, take a player on 1v1. The summer of Ndombele Lascelles session was considered a good one, turned sour. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, my friends. Just win one trophy, mate, so I can die peacefully. In 5 years' time, we can look back and say this window is genius. At the moment, I do have concerns that we didn't sign what we need now. Well, look, I if I'm honest, the concern for me is left back, left centre back. I don't have as many concerns across the rest of the team. I don't have concerns at right centre back or right back. Striker, I'm happy. Left wing, I'm probably happy now with Sonny, obviously Sonny being there. The 10 role, if you want to put Kulusevski and Madders in the sort of 10 area, I think right now I'm fine with that. Bergvall and Gray, I'm happy with those additions. I think the 8 role we're probably fairly okay in. The 6, yeah, let's see what we have at 6. If Basuma plays the way he does against Everton and more consistently, I won't have as many concerns. But I do say last year's signings were better than this year. But to be fair, Spurs had a lot more wiggle room to work with last year. Don't forget that. Had to Danny Rose Koulibaly a bit, but he fits our criteria. 20 years old, left centre back with unbelievable passing stats. Well, there you go. Brighton setup is amazing for the club. Buy a talent low fee and sell it at God profit. I'd love to have their recruitment at Spurs. Yeah, well, I personally disagree a little bit because Spurs have a lot more to spend, and Spurs' ambitions are a lot higher. You know, at the end of the day, Brighton are doing it that way. It works for them. It won't work for every team. And you wouldn't have many fans very happy if we did what they were doing. What we need is what Ange wants. Agreed, Polly. So, like I said, interested to see how the rest of this window goes. I mean, we've got 2.5 days left to go. I can see the window being quite busy to the end, if I'm honest. 9 years ago, Heung-Min Son signed for Spurs. What a mental day that was. Yes. Obviously, video coming out later this afternoon with the EAFC player ratings revealed. Do watch that when it does come out. It'll be out in a good few hours. We'll obviously be back later this evening doing some stuff. I will be posting some stuff on the second channel, hopefully today as well. Maybe a F1 career mode episode 2. The first one was quite fun, so hopefully that one. The second one's really good, by the way. You're gonna find it quite funny. So yeah, maybe that as well. Yes, preview Saturday morning. We'll have the guest of Luke joining me for that one, hopefully. And he saw I meant the scouting and bringing in town. Oh, yeah, fair enough. But the Brighton scouts are just incredible. Yeah, Chelsea bought a lot of the Brighton scouts. Just to give you an FYI, the reason why Brighton are doing what Brighton do is their chairman, Tony Bloom. It's not the scouts. They work off Brighton. They work off Tony Bloom's data systems. It's him that's the key thing there. We'll get one more player at least. I'm really excited to see what happens because I have no idea who it'll be exactly. You think Kalioglu would have suited our needs? Yeah, maybe so, but it doesn't mean it's what Ange would have wanted, you know? Ange would rather play the academy players than sign someone he's not comfortable with. Agreed, Barney? And yeah, fair enough. So yes, thank you all so much for joining me. Obviously, subscribe, like the video, hit me in the comments down below, post video. And I will definitely be back a little bit later to talk a bit more Spurs. Check out the other videos that are coming out on the channel today. My second channel, Geraldo, is this. There you go. Yeah, subscribe to the second channel. I did release an AEW video yesterday because I went to the AEW All In. So yes, do subscribe. We'll get some videos out there hopefully this week. A lot more this week as well. So do stick around for that. But thanks so much for joining me this afternoon, or this morning, sorry. I will see you all a little bit later on this evening. Thanks, everyone. Peace out and see you later. Ciao.